Over the past few years, companies in all industries have been beefing up their spending and support for DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. But a new article featured on CNBC.com right now says that technology companies, including Alphabet, the parent company of Google, also Meta platforms, have made big cuts to those DEI programs in 2023 so far. So joining us now is the author of that piece on CNBC.com, Jennifer Elias, who reports on technology out in the West Coast. Jennifer, thank you very much for being here. Can you take us through what exactly is the cut, why exactly the cuts are happening the way that they are right now, and just how big in scope could they be?
Right, Dom. So what we've found is that tech companies, including many of the FANG companies that we know, made large commitments to underrepresented talent and third-party organizations in 2020 amid the George Floyd murder. What we found this year is that a lot of them have downsized some of their commitments. They have cut DEI orgs, which means things like, people who are in charge of recruiting and retaining underrepresented talent, cutting people in those positions, and then as well as backing down from some of their sponsorship and participation in some larger tech conferences that help increase this representation in the tech industry. And so it's sort of been across the board in many different DEI perspectives at these companies. And the reason they're giving is generally cost cutting. And a lot of them are sort of telling organizations and sources that we spoke to that it's a measure of cost cutting and that they don't know when they'll get their budget back. But some have told us that they've cut their budget by as much as 90% that was designated for DEI initiatives and for increasing representation in the tech industry, which is important because that ultimately determines how products will be made at these companies and what kinds of users will be taken into account.
Now, Jennifer, 90% is steep. I mean, that's a massive amount of budget to cut for anybody, whether it's DEI or any other unit. This all comes at a time, though, when we keep hearing about many of these tech companies and some of their enterprise business customers increasing their spending on things like artificial intelligence. So how exactly does that reconcile, or does it not, with the spending in AI versus spending in DEI?
Right. Well, that's part of the reasons that these companies and executives are actually giving. Some of these organizations, they're saying that DEI doesn't necessarily contribute to the bottom line, and yet they're going and investing a lot into AI, which a lot of investors and shareholders are expecting. However, this is a problem that a lot of organizations told me and sources told me because, as it speeds, if it's slowing down on, increasing representation and retaining the people that are so important to making these products for all different people of all different backgrounds, they're also speeding up at the same time, doubling, tripling down on this technology, artificial intelligence, which we saw hit breakneck speed this year. So those two, increase in AI, decrease in DEI, history tells us that products, we've seen Google and Meta, for example, struggle with some of its image recognition technology in identifying Black people, for example. So, it's very discouraging for a lot of these organizations. And so they're looking at it as that.
All right. Jennifer Elias, big trends in technology right now with DEI. And by the way, you can catch that full story up on CNBC.com right now. Jennifer Elias, thank you very much. Happy holidays.